Is it possible to complete Oddworld Soulstorm backwards? Well, let's find out. Starting off with the Eye of the Storm. As soon as I get into the door, I see that I can't progress because the railway platform is not there for me because it's on the other side. So, nope, not possible. Up next is Brewery, and the first thing I see is a slam door right in front of me, making me unable to progress. Up next is The Yards. The first thing I see is I'm unable to reach that platform above me because it's way too high for me, making me unable to progress. So, nope. Up next is Fiku. Thankfully, I made to progress. The first thing I can do is to avoid trains. The best thing is, there was this railway platform staying ready for me to take, but even if it wasn't there, I could just progress anyway by climbing on those monkey bars. Then there was this part where the railway platform was underneath, but I tried to climb down to see if I could survive. After a few attempts, I managed to pull a Mario 64, where I let Abe do a double jump midway, and he actually survived. And for some reason, he was able to clip himself through that wall, and I was able to progress. But this was here where my journey stopped very quickly, because there was that railway platform missing on the other side, and there wasn't really any other way for me to progress, like an alternative way, something like that, so nope. Up next is Escape. In front of me is a slam door. Up next is Sanctum. The first thing I see is I have to escape through a lot of sleechers with no flashlight. This all went pretty smooth until this part where a slam door opens right in front of me. Wow. Just wow. Up next is the mines, and already here I can't progress because there's this railway platform. They're supposed to go up and down, but doesn't do it because I'm here. So, up next is mines, and the first thing I see is a bunch of sleeping sleeks, but I was able to avoid them very easily. Afterward, all I had to do was just to avoid a bunch of bone saws until I reached that part with that bone saw, which looked like it was over for me, but I didn't want to give up that fast. Strange thing is, when Abe touches it, he doesn't get killed by it, but instead gets knocked back, so I guess that helped me a little bit. After a lot of attempts, I miraculously managed to sink it right where I was able to jump through the bone saw, and I was on the other side. But here I had to be careful, because if I get caught by these Sleek's lasers, I have to start all over again from the previous checkpoint, which means I have to go through that bone saw again. I did it with no problem, but this was here where my journey had no meaning, because again, there was a missing railway platform. Up next is Sleek Barracks. The first thing I see is a bunch of sleeping slicks and slogs, but I was able to avoid them easily, and thankfully the store here was open. But as I go through it, I see a railway platform missing, and then there was these flying slicks patrolling. Then I tried to see if I was able to pull the same trick as I did in Fiku. Well, I was able to progress through this platform, but it didn't help because I needed to go further down. And the problem is, the railway platform goes to the right, and I can't really pull the same trick right here. Up next is Reunion at the Old Trellis, and slam door. Up next is Hijack. This one had a satisfying straight away road, and there was one sleek that I could possess and let it kill another flying sleek with no problem. Afterwards, I was able to continue until slam door. I was trying to see if there was a way I could get underneath it, but unfortunately there was only a line of monkey bars to the right, but not to the left. Up next is Fast Station. The first thing I see is a railway platform missing, but it's underneath me. But the strange thing is, when I try to fall down to it, it is apparently not in the same position as I am. So this makes me fall straight down. Up next is Sorrow Valley. The first thing I see is I can't progress because there's that elevator that is all the way up there that I can't reach. Up next is Funicular. Everything went pretty fine until I reached that part with a missing railway platform. Up next is the Ruins. For some reason, I am invincible throughout this whole run because the game probably thinks that I'm through a cutscene, which means that literally nothing can kill me right now. But still, despite being invincible, it didn't really help anything at all, because as soon as I reach this part, I was not able to progress because that platform was way too high for me to reach, no matter how close I was able to grab it. Up next is the Ruins and Slime Door. Last one is the raid on Monsac Lines, and this is here where my run got interrupted really fast. As soon as I tried to reach that wooden bridge, it explodes, and I was unable to get to that monkey bar because it was way too far. No matter how I try again, being fast enough to reach the wooden bridge, it explodes way too fast. So I can say that it is absolutely, positively, never ever possible to complete Oddworld Soulstorm backwards.